Welcome to Heightened Life, a place for conversation that sparks insight and inspires growth. Hi, welcome to episode 2 of Heightened Life. My name is Amanda Goins, and I'm glad you joined me. In today's episode, I'm going to share a bit about what you can expect going forward on this podcast. Also, I want to share some exciting stuff, some recent experiences, and how they've truly changed me. In last week's first episode, I shared my story, the story of how I turned my trauma to triumph. If you haven't checked that out yet, you can find it at heightenedlife.org. Again, that is heightenedlife.org. I shared my story to let you know that you are not alone and to encourage you. This story was for context. The focus of this podcast is not me or my story. Let me explain a bit. As I changed my life radically over the past 2 years, one integral aspect of my growth was inspiration. Specifically, people with inspiring stories and messages to share. Messages of encouragement, perseverance, and hope. Through this podcast, I will share my conversations with such individuals so that you can leave each episode feeling more inspired than you felt when you first pushed play. Whether you find yourself struggling or thriving, I hope that there is something useful and thought-provoking to take away from each listening. Today, I'm going to quickly share 3 perspective-shifting concepts that I learned in the last 7 days, as well as share a bit about next week's first conversation. I'm super excited to tell you about it, so be sure to stick around until the end for that. In my life, over the last 7 days, wow, I've learned a great deal about myself and life in general. So much so that there isn't a sufficient way for me to share it all in this episode. So I will share my top 3 recent revelations. Over the past week, I attended my first podcasting convention, PodFest. When I signed up, I'd never attended a podcasting convention before, or any convention for that matter, but I thought it would be a great opportunity to learn and grow. And it absolutely was, much more than I even anticipated. Not only did I learn a great deal from the speakers and industry professionals that presented there, I also gained so much by connecting and interacting with the other attendees. Here are my top 3 most valuable lessons. Number 1, it is necessary to step out of your comfort zone if you want to grow and thrive. I'm reminded of a quote by Neale Walsh that states, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone." Now, I understood this concept prior to attending the convention. However, I had not really put it into practice. I would set expectations for myself and my life at a mediocre level and then be disappointed when I got mediocre results. The main reason for that is I was too afraid to step out of my comfort zone and push my limits. However, being around like-minded creators and learning about their journeys and how they've accomplished great things by pushing their limits really inspired me. So I pushed through my initial tendency to be shy and awkward, and I dove in. I challenged myself to learn as much as possible and to truly connect with as many people as I could. This paid off in so many ways. Number 2, the next life lesson I gained over the past week is the importance of being consistent. Consistency is key, not just to podcasting or creative endeavors, but in all aspects of life. Life is a marathon, not a sprint, and my plan is to make continual progress and enjoy the view along the way. In the past, I had the tendency to get started on a project and then give up when things got challenging. I lacked consistency in most areas of my life, and that is why I didn't make progress in those areas. Now, I am committed to the pursuit of my passions, and I refuse to give in, even if the road gets bumpy along the way. Number 3, I learned the importance and joy of community. Connecting with other podcasters from various walks of life and experience has been really enriching for me. Prior to last week, I had a tendency to be independent in my creative endeavors. Nothing wrong with being independent. However, connecting with people who share a common interest and similar challenges along the way renewed my sense of purpose. I encourage you to reach out to people with similar interests. Join a community online or create one. It's a great place to start. And you may be surprised by how much you learn, many times from unexpected sources. And there you have it, my quick update of what I've learned in the last 7 days. As promised, I want to share with you a bit about things to come on Heightened Life. Next Monday will be the first in my series of conversations with innovative and inspirational individuals. My first guest is Anne Bonny. She's a motivational speaker, best-selling author, and host of Igniting Courage podcast. I'm so thrilled to have a chance to sit down with her and chat. Be sure to join us next Monday, October 12th, to listen to our conversation. I'm super excited. As always, you can find it at heightenedlife.org. Again, that is heightenedlife.org. And while you're there, check out the links to the Heightened Life social media on Instagram and Facebook. Or follow me, Amanda Goins, on Twitter at AmandaDawnGoin1. That is Amanda Dawn, Goin1 on Twitter. I share updates and inspiring tidbits every day. Thanks again for being here with me. And until next time, much love, and I will see you later. Oh, one last thing. Over the weekend, I had an awesome chat with MJ from the podcast Inside the Sound. We had a great time discussing life, music, and making connections. You can find it at anchor.fm/insidethesound. And while you're there, check out the other episodes. In a couple of weeks, MJ and co-host Ryan will be here chatting with me on the podcast. I'm super excited to get to sit down and talk with them. You can follow along with information on that episode and all episodes at heightenedlife.org. Until next time, have fun and keep growing.